Do you want to know the best methods to farm each type of catalyst in the game? You are in the right place. I spent countless hours optimizing these catalyst farming methods so I can give you the fastest and most efficient spots that will save you a lot of your precious time. Chroma and polished Chroma Catalyst are the lowest tier of weapon upgrade materials in the game. Chroma Catalyst upgrades weapon levels from 1 to 3, while polished Chroma upgrades the weapon level from 3 to 9. You are better off by just buying each Chroma and polished Chroma Catalyst in any merchant you've come across in your journey, and they really adds up over time, and trust me, this will save you a lot of time in the long run. Farming manually for both of these types of catalysts will only waste your time because of their horrible drop rates. I've tried every early spot in the game and checked their drop rates for hours and found only 2 good spots to farm polished Chroma Catalyst at mid-game. But it is also tied to Resplendent Chroma Catalyst farm later on. Also, you will be getting weapon duplicates, increasing some of your weapon levels past level 11 most of the time if you properly explore the world. Item loot in various locations will also give you a decent amount of these catalysts in early parts of the game. So again, I highly suggest avoiding farming Chroma and polished Chroma and buying everything you can from merchants, and you are good to go. Resplendent Chroma Catalyst is your key upgrade material when upgrading weapon levels from 9 to 19. You will need a lot of these if you want to max out all of your weapons later on, and there are actually a lot of efficient methods to farm Resplendent Catalyst. But just like the lower catalysts, you can buy Resplendents from merchants and also get it as a loot starting from mid-game onwards. But if you are rushing to get these materials, there are 2 best spots to farm them efficiently, which I will go over in a minute. If you are accessing these spots during mid-game, I highly suggest following the build that I'm showing on the screen right now, so you can replicate the strategies and results later on. The idea of this build is pretty simple. Just stack as many damage multiplier pictos such as at death's door, first offensive, inverted affinity, augmented first strike, and so on. I'm using CL, Mayel, and Verso for my main lineup, and having character levels of 50 is not required for the next methods to work. It's just that I recorded this clip a little late. The suggested levels around mid-game are around 30 to 35. If you want to reach level 30 to 40 plus and be prepared for this guide, I recently covered the best Act 1 or early farming spots, so check the description or click the card here for your convenience. I will be referencing a lot of my previous guides in this video to make the video concise. The first spot to farm Resplendent is on the Visage Island, which is a location you can't miss because it is part of the main scenario, but I'm still showing you the location on the screen right now. Progress in the area and find the Joy Veil flag, and this is going to be the starting point in this method. From the Expedition flag, approach the nearest Nevron pack and do a preemptive strike. As soon as the battle starts, let's heal cast our sacrifice skill to drain Mayel and Verso's HP so they will have access to more damage multipliers. But most of the time, the non-flying Nevrons will die during Seal's turn, and then shoot the flying Nevron to end the match. After the fight, not far from your location, approach the crawling Nevron and do a preemptive strike. Seal will cast her marking card to apply a mark status on our target. Then let Mayel cast Floret Flurry to damage the enemy and break it so we can cancel its turn later on, just in case Verso failed to kill the target. Verso most of the time end the match with a Defiant Strike. Once it's done, head back to the flag to reset the run, rinse and repeat. If you're going to do this in mid-game, we might as well count the overall XP and Chroma gains for your convenience. Each run lasts around 1 minute and 7 seconds with loading times included and gives you 4k Chroma, 75k XP, and at least 1 Resplendent Catalyst per run. Do this consistently in an hour and we are looking at 214k Chroma, almost 4 million XP, and 52 Resplendent Catalysts. That's a good gains right there. Of course, you can go back here with an endgame build and be more efficient with your runs and get more Resplendent Catalysts in the process. You can use whoever you want with an endgame build. Just head straight to the crawling Nevron and take out with free aim shots. Then head back to the flag to respawn the target, rinse and repeat. With this strategy, you will have a faster clear times of 27 seconds and nets you a whopping 133 Resplendent Chroma Catalysts in the process. But what if you want better gains for your time when hunting Resplendent Chromas during mid-game? The previous spot can even compete with a stronger Stalak farming method located around the eastern part of the Icy region, which I'm showing the location on the screen right now. Start the run with a preemptive strike as usual, and once the fight starts, let's take out the Dancer Nevron with free aim shots. Then cast our sacrifice skill to siphon your party members' HPs. Mael will then shoot the Stalak once to delete its shields and have access to Virtuous Stance. Finish Mael's turn with a Fencer's Flurry to apply defenseless and take out the side Nebron in the process. Verso will then perform Divine Strike to deal additional tons of damage, further weakening the Stalak. Once the Stalak attacks the party, jump and counter it, and this will end the fight. Reset the run by simply accessing your camp, rinse and repeat. Each run only lasts around 50 to 53 seconds and gives you almost 5k chroma and a whopping 103k XP in the process, and at least one Resplendent Catalyst. Not only that, this spot drops polished Chroma Catalyst as well, but the drop greatly varies. In all of the early to mid-game spots that I tested, this spot has the highest polished Chroma drop rates. Do this consistently in an hour and we are looking at almost 328k chroma and a mind-blowing 7.4 million worth of XP, which is too much for a mid-game progress. Well, if you do this method with an endgame build on the other hand, you are looking at 28 seconds clear time and a whopping 128 Resplendent Catalyst and a varying good amount of polished Chroma Catalyst per hour. This spot is also covered in my previous best leveling mid-game spots, so if you want to know the fastest way to level up at mid-game, check the description or click the card here. And also, if you're getting value so far, subscribe to the channel. Liking the video and engaging in the comments helps me a lot. Join our Discord server and discuss role-playing games such as this, and I appreciate your support. The Grandiose Catalyst upgrades your weapon levels from level 19 to 32. Grandiose will start to drop like candies from all Act 3 spots. But of course, I prepared the best of the best spots for you to save time. But of course, for you to replicate all of my runs on this list, updating the build is mandatory. The build is still following the glass cannon type of setup. We're stacking as many damage multipliers as we can. I'm flashing the updated early Act 3 build on the screen right now. Pause the video if you need to. The next spot will require at least level 70 character levels to be efficient in your runs. So I highly suggest checking my early endgame to late game leveling progression guide. You can easily reach level 70 in no time since I provided the best of the best spots to level up your characters from level 50 to level 70 without a hassle. As always, check the description or click the card here. Now that you're ready, the best spot to farm Grandiose effectively in early parts of endgame while also giving you millions of XP in the process is in the Darkshore area by farming the Noir Nevrons in this location. Find this location that I'm showing on the screen right now, located in the very first area of the game. Late game players will say that, hey Samurai, the Frozen Heart area drops Grandiose Catalyst as well. Yes, I am aware of this and I've covered it in my endgame leveling guide, which I suggested a while ago. I simply picked the Darkshore spot as the best early spots that you can farm Grandiose before super late game. There's only one flag in this area and the starting point of our runs. Start the run by heading towards the Nevrons located straight ahead from the flag. Do a preemptive strike and let CL cast Fortune's Fury on Mael to apply a double damage buff. Mael will then cast Phantom Strike to severely damage our targets and end the fight. Just in case a Nevron survive, you can use Verso to clean the leftover enemies. Once the first match ended, head to your right and runs towards the second pack of Nevrons and do a preemptive strike. Do the same strategy by buffing Mael with double damage and finishing the fight with Phantom Strike. After the fight, head to the flag to respawn both of the key Nevron packs in this run to reset the method. Each run lasts around 1 minute and 2 seconds with loading times included if you stick with 2 packs, giving you almost 31k chroma and almost 2.1 million XP and 5 Grandiose Catalysts per run. Do this consistently in an hour and we are looking at 1.7m chroma and a great amount of 118 million worth of XP. And as usual, a decent amount of recoats and 285 Grandiose Catalysts for your upgrade needs. Now the best of the best spot farming Grandiose Catalyst is in Renoir's Draft by consistently challenging the merchant in this area. Again, I'm not saying that the other spots in Renoir's Draft do not drop Grandiose Catalyst. In fact, All of them drop Grandiose consistently, but the Merchant is the best and the most efficient way to farm both XP and Grandiose in the entire game. For you to access Renowar's draft and know the best builds to farm this method efficiently, I recently optimized my Grandiose and Lumina farming methods in this video, so I suggest checking the video out. Following my Lumina guide can make your runs godly by soloing everything with Monaco and having the best gains of Lumina and Grandiose per hour. For the actual method, regardless of whether you pick Mael or Monaco for your runs, both can closely one-shot all of our targets in this run. Just use Phantom Strike with Mael or the Sakapatat Fire Scale when using Monaco. But Monaco gives you a little bit more in terms of Lumina and Grandiose gains per hour in your Merchant runs. With a fast clear time of 15 seconds per match, which gives you a minimum of 225 Lumina per hour, which is the second fastest gain in the game, and a minimum of 225 to 450 Grandiose per hour, and potentially even more since you can get between 1 to 3 Grandiose drops per fight. The perfect Chroma Catalyst is the highest grade of weapon upgrade materials in the game, allowing users to upgrade their weapons from level 32 to 33. Just like in the Soulsborne series, the main caveat of this material is that you can farm this material in your first playthrough. However, the main difference is that it is farmable in the succeeding New Game Plus playthroughs, and I will show you the spot later on. To simply avoid spoilers, I will show you all of the locations where you can get perfect Chroma Catalyst during your first playthrough. You can get 3 perfect Chroma Catalysts in Renowar's draft by defeating an optional boss and 2 perfect Chroma Catalysts from the super boss. Beat the Serpent Hair for at least 1 perfect Chroma Catalyst, and you can find this optional boss in the location on the screen right now. Another perfect Chroma Catalyst by beating the boss in the Painted Workshop, and another drop by beating the Stage 3 Trial 11 match in Endless Tower, and get a whopping 4 perfect Catalysts by beating the major bosses in Flying Manor. Again, I'm showing the location on the screen right now. So in total, you can get 10 perfect Chroma Catalysts in your first playthrough. But what if you are in New Game Plus and want to max out all of your weapons? My earliest best suggestion would be one-shotting Golgra with any optimized endgame setup. But for you to do so, you need to optimize your builds with as many Lumina slots as possible. And this video will let you earn the fastest amount per hour before you complete your first playthrough. And I will catch you on the next video.